Hey folks, it is the daily Landsblog for November the 13th, 2018. Do you know what November the 13th is? Case, you know what it is, right?
I do.
What is it?
It's Corey's birthday.
It's Corey Lee Landsberg's birthday.
What the hell is Lee?
You know, I was just about to say, I don't remember. I think it was actually after my grandfather, Louis Suckloff.
Why did you just go with Louie?
I don't know, Louis didn't seem that modern, and yeah, you know what? Let's go back and change it. It's Corey's birthday today, and I wanted to speak a bit about Corey and a bit about the good things that he got from me and the bad things that he got from me. And I don't celebrate the fact that, I don't feel proud of the fact that I gave him anything good. He got it on his own. You can't will people good genetics in any way. But if you believe that, then you have to apply it to the downside, because so many of us that live with any kind of chronic illness, if our kids experience it, we feel this sense of guilt. And I've never really understood that. I've never really understood how you can feel guilty about something that you have absolutely no control over. I know it's a natural reaction, and especially when it comes to mental health, you are often dragged down into this hole by your mental illness. And when you're down there, you look for things to blame yourself for. So you tend to blame yourself for your kid's anxiety in the case of Corey. But I don't do that, and I never have. Corey inherited exactly the same anxiety that I had when I was a kid and that I have as an adult. Exactly. In a bizarre turn, one day he says to me, I don't know, it must have been 4 or 5. He said, will I barf? And I went, will you barf? What do you mean by that? He goes, well, am I going to throw up? And I said, well, why would you think? Do you feel sick? He goes, no. I go, well, then you're not going to throw up. He goes, how do you know? Well, I said, well, if you're not sick, then why would you throw up? He goes, okay, but do you know for sure? And we had this cycle, and this circle that we went around kept coming back to the same place, which is there is no answer for anxiety. And that was the time when I first realized that Corey suffered from this anxiety. Well, Corey is a lesson to those of you that maybe have kids that have experienced it. It's really not that uncommon. And when I said the barf thing, I was exactly the same way and still am the same way. I think I've mentioned recently that if I was on an airplane and the person beside me grabbed for the bag, I'm going somewhere. I'm either running up and down the aisle, or I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm not staying there. So Corey can be a really good example for some parents that have kids that struggle with anxiety, because he's done well with it, right? He still suffers. It still nags at him. Sometimes it still debilitates him, but he's living his life. And when you suffer from this kind of illness, whether it's depression or anxiety, if you can say, I'm living my life, and say that in a positive way, then I think that's a big victory. So Corey, congrats on your birthday, but more importantly for me, congrats on being a warrior and being somebody that I never knew it at the time when you were a kid, because I never used this expression, but you are sick, but you sure as hell are not weak. And tomorrow on the Daily Landsblog, since we'll be having dinner with Corey tomorrow, which is actually today, you will hear from the birthday boy, so spread the word. Corey makes his return. SickNotWeak.com, 24 hours a day, 364 days a year. We're here because sometimes we can show you a good example of why you should remain optimistic.